Hey Pisces, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of December general reading here. So in your meditation, I saw the image of, I was in the desert and I saw the image of a snake. And it kind of came towards me as the spectator, and it hissed, and then it sort of turned around. I saw it like going into the desert and then crawling underneath the sands. It felt like, you're not just burying your head in the sand, your whole body, the snake anyway. So I saw it kind of start moving and create ripples like underneath the sand. If you think about that imagery, it's like, that would creep me the hell out. Like if I was in the desert and I saw something rippling like underneath the sand, but I didn't know what it was. And then I saw it arrive at a golden pyramid. And I saw it crawl to the top of it. And it kind of became, it's like a statue at the top of it. And then it kind of froze on the very tip as it wrapped its body around it. And then it turned into gold and became part of the pyramid. Then I saw a door, the door was a front door of the pyramid, like swing open. And I got that feeling of like Aladdin with the diamond in the rough. And then I heard the song, or not the song, I heard the words, "Are you a diamond in the rough, or have you just had enough?" It's really interesting. Snake energy is about transformation and change, right? There's an aspect, though, of snake medicine which ties it a bit to the Ace of Wands in the Tarot, because it is fire energy and it speaks of transformation and passion and courage and creativity. I feel like there's an aspect of this that is challenging you to come out of your comfort zone or to go beyond your perceived limitations in some way, shape, or form. I want to say that you are much more capable in some way, shape, or form than perhaps you or someone else or others around you give you credit for. But I do feel like there's a challenge here, kind of going like, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to come into this pyramid and see all the treasures in here? Or are you going to kind of stay buried in the sand in some way, shape, or form? Could have to do with your creative life, your passion for the work that you do, the kind of work that you do. How much do you test and stretch yourself, and are you willing to adapt and change around the work that you do or around the relationships about which you're passionate? There's something about that. It feels like a friendly challenge from your guides, just kind of going, are you content where you are, or are you ready to kind of grow, shed the skin of the past and previous self and grow into the new year, into 2023? Really interesting. The Egyptian aspect too, it's fascinating. I was kind of, mixing my places there because I saw, Egyptian, but then it was taking me to Aladdin. But I think the point was the diamond and the rough aspect of it. What do they say? Diamonds are created by what? Pressure. Anyway, it feels like an invitation more than like a proclamation. So it's really up to you, but it feels, yes, very interesting to see what could be on the other side of that. So with that being said, let's take a look and see what your cards say. Hey Pisces, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of December. Animal energy, first half of December for Pisces. Beautiful. So you have the lion here talking about confidence and courage and leadership. The lion, fire energy here, by the way. We were feeling fire energy in the meditation. Lion most closely equates to the King of Wands in the Tarot, which is about, it's the master of timing, knowing when to move, when to be still, what to say yes to, what to say no to. But ultimately, the King of Wands is very much a mastery of himself. He's a master. He's a master of one. He knows himself incredibly well. He doesn't doubt himself. He's the king of confidence. He is the artistic king, so he's into the arts and the holistic practices and metaphysical work and everything related to the creative world, artists, designers, all of that good stuff, all of the good stuff, in my opinion. So it's interesting that this is coming up for you in this way, because lion medicine also is about being the authority around something, having that confidence, being the leader, and also taking ownership of your own path, your own purpose, and really taking responsibility for the road not yet traveled and the road already traveled. So it's very much an energy of ownership, right? It's interesting here though, because the lion is center stage, so to speak, right? The lion is in the spotlight. The lion is that kind of animal energy where they have a lot of that responsibility of protecting their pride, right? They're very much that energy of like being out in front of things, right? And they bask in the sun. It's very much in the light. And it's fascinating that with the meditation, I saw the snake kind of going underneath the sand. Interesting, right? And then the kind of beckoning and the challenge and the invitation around like, are you a diamond in the rough? How will you respond to pressure? Or have you just had enough? I feel like it's really a really strong message around you have a lot more in you and a lot more potential than maybe you even are yet to realize, right? Okay, let's see what's going on. Right. So we're starting off with the reversal. So I'm going to hold it in the upright for the sake of the visual here, but it's really fascinating. So this kind of looks like Jafar to me from Aladdin, no? A little bit of Jafar realness. So Seven of Swords, traditionally speaking, is about self-sabotage. It's about thievery. It's about deception, right? It's the ways in which we deceive ourselves, honey. The ways in which we act outside of our own best interest, truly. So it's fascinating here because remember, the swords rule the realm of the mind. It's air energy, right? The mind, in my opinion, not just my opinion, but the mind is really the aspect of ourselves that if not kept in check, right, can really affect negatively all the other areas of our experience. Meaning if our mind isn't right, our physical self isn't going to be right. It's going to be a reflection of the mind. If our mind isn't right, then the work that we do, right, that the pentacles is going to suffer. If our mind isn't right, then it's going to affect our cups, our emotional relationships, our intuition, right? Really, it all comes down to the power of the mind. And it's really fascinating here that the sword here is really at the tip of his third eye as well. So it's what I'm getting here with this, with you, because it came up in the reverse. I feel like there's an aspect of you that is aware of certain, ways in which you either get in your own way or sort of pulled into the limit of your own perceived limitations, right? Perceived being the key word there, not real, but perceived. But I feel like the fact that this is coming up in reverse, if we look at this in reverse, right? All of these knives are gonna fall down this way, right? And suddenly, like this which was at the top and all under here, suddenly it's all flipped upside down and it's all going to come falling out, right? There's an aspect of like heart being over the head, whereas this way it's head over the heart. And that's what I'm getting here for you. As Pisceans, you guys are very much connected to your heart chakra, right? Even when you're not, even when you're having, times when you don't feel as connected, your home base is your emotion and your intuition, right? So it really feels like there's something about this where your heart is wanting to be flipped and be above your head. That's why like that stance in yoga, like why they do the headstands is to flip the direction of that blood flow in order to shift one's perspective and see things differently. So I feel like that's coming in for your advice around this. If you have found your mind to be somewhat of a fickle friend or even a foe, which we all do at one point or another, right? But especially if you have prominent air placement, hello. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, boy. Water energy, there it is. So 8 of Cups, we got the full moon here. You guys are the moon key. And then Tarot, so I like that you're being represented in this way. How stunning is this? Like, what wouldn't you give to be walking along this creek in the moonlight? It's beautiful. So with this 8 of Cups, this is an aspect of being willing to let go, to move on to things that lie within your wish fulfillment potential, right? Because what comes after this is wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups, but it requires that you let go of some things to make room for new. So this very much feels like that pathway and that journey, but it feels a bit like there's a bit of trepidation around it. There's a bit of trepidation around it. Like there's a lot of unknown going forward here, which makes sense with the moon energy. But you as Pisces have this ability to connect in with that and find freedom and greater insight in the moonlight through your intuition, through your sensory feelings than others would in the bright light of day. Kind of going back to that lion aspect here, right? I really feel like you are moving along this path and kind of leaving. I have this image of you walking this path and leaving things like in your wake, like leaving kind of like a trail. So by the time you get out of here, you have a lot less than you went in with, but you still have what you need. The only things that you lost are things that have reached their, expiration date. And we're only going to encumber you moving forward. But there's something about this that is going to require faith or trust or just some gumption in some way, shape or form. So for that reason, I really like that the lion is overseeing things for you and that that's your, initial energy coming in here, because I feel like the lion is coming through as a gift for you to help you along this path. It's interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what else is going on. Ooh, right. Okay. Let's talk. So we have the Tower here. Scorpio energy. So what's interesting about this, we have a blood moon now. And this building that is fractured into two, doesn't that look like a pathway? Like a path diverging this way or a path diverging that way? And then we have this river here, which is going this way, then it goes this way, then it's not like a straight line, right? So it's interesting. I feel like there's a path divergence coming up that is going to be significant for you, and it's going to be up to you which way you go. Again, there's going to be a route that might be more challenging and unknown, but diamonds are made from what? Pressure. And there's going to be another route, which is kind of the route that snake was taking, of like in the sand a little bit, might be less challenging and a lot, better known by you, even previously traversed by you. So you know where all the stops are and you've seen it before, but it might lead to less reward and it's going to give you more of the same. Again, there's no right or wrong, but when the Tower comes through, this is the universe being the great rearranger that it is and shifting things so that you are aligned on your highest and best path. But I do get this very distinct feeling that your highest and best path is going to come as a choice and less as like a destined or fated thing, which major arcanas usually denote. But I'm not getting that for you here in this context. It's really going to be up to you. Okay, so I'm hearing that they want me to talk about, I'm here to talk more about the moon for you. So let's just talk about the moon. Let's talk about the moon and why it represents you, right? Why does it represent Pisces energy? Why is that? So the moon has cycles and phases, right? It's not, if you think about the sun, right? It's always the sun. It's not like a waning sun or a waxing sun or a crescent sun or a full sun or a new sun. It's just the sun, right? But the moon has all these different phases, right? She's changeable. She's feminine. La Luna, right? So with Pisces energy, you guys are water, right? The water and the moon, they work in tandem with cycles and changes. They affect, the moon affects the water and the tides and all of that. So for you as a Pisces, how you can kind of check in with yourself and see if you are aligned and within inner balance is to examine your relationship to change and the unknown. Because change in the unknown is what that moon represents and what it embodies so beautifully without fear. So if you are in a place, and whether this is regarding your life overall, your relationship, your work, your health, whatever that is, if you are finding yourself on the shadow energy of the moon in fear, anxiety of the unknown, mania, all of that, like tension, it's a really good opportunity to go, how can I shift my energy to balance? Because when a Pisces is in balance, listen, the unknown is scary anyway. You're a human being, right? Standard. But as a Pisces, you have an ability to thrive within those unknown changeable waters more so than, in my opinion, any other sign in the zodiac, because you are the moon. You embody and hold that energy of the moon within you. So if you are feeling, you know, excitement or wonder or just even acceptance about the unknown and whatever changes might lie ahead, that is a really good indicator that you are balanced emotionally, energetically. But if you're feeling a lot of fear and anxiety and feeling the need to know what's coming down the road, you're insistent on having the answers and all less interested in questions, that is a really good indicator for you that something is imbalanced within you emotionally, psychically, energetically, physically, in some way, shape, or form. So it's a really good diagnostic way to kind of tune into how you're doing and who you are in relationship to, you know, the moon. Let's go ahead and get some advice. Advice for Pisces. Come out. Advice for Pisces. Ooh. Oh, perfect. Oh, look what's on the bottom, y'all. Hey, the moon key. We were just talking about this. You know, I'm actually really glad that this is on the bottom here so we can talk about this owl energy, because that's really a beautiful symbol of, you know, an animal and energy that, you know, they exist in the daytime, right? They are active during the daytime, but they really thrive at nighttime because they're able to see at nighttime as well as they are, you know, able to see during the day. So it gives them that advantage. It's that clear sight, right? They embrace what they are. They embrace the moonlight. They don't fear what's in the dark. They trust that they're going to be able to see what they need to. So I love that for you. Beautiful owl energy. There's just, I feel like that's a gift for you in terms of a totem, an owl, to get through this, you know, work through this time. So your advice is the Ace of Swords. We were talking about the power of the mind. This is when the mind is working well and you're working with it. What's really interesting here too is this is a rook from a chessboard. And then we have that chessboard here as well, which is about strategy, planning, and you know, thinking ahead, right? The tagline for this key is the answers lie in the stillness. It's just like perfection. The answers lie in the stillness. But also panda energy, oh, one of my absolute favorites, is all about inner peace, compassion, contentment, lack of fear, assurance. Panda is such a beautiful energy because they're not predators, right? They're vegetarians, and they love nothing more to eat and go at their own pace and live a leisurely, you know, happy existence. And that's really brilliant that that's coming up as your advice, right? In which ways can you nourish yourself or give yourself the gift of, you know, the gift of quiet, the gift of stillness, the gift of an open schedule, right? As much as possible, especially going into the holiday season. This is a brilliant time for this, right? Swords energy, air energy, representing the winter time. So the answers lie in the stillness. I feel like that's beautiful. It's the best way to calm your mind and to get grounded and centered is to meditate, be still, be quiet, even to just be in nature. Highly restorative, especially for Pisces, because you guys are so connected to the earth and its cycles, right? It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. Actually, yeah, I do think that. I feel that Pisces are the most earthy of all of the water signs. I do feel that. I think Pisces, you know, have a beautiful ability to be incredibly grounded while staying in their, you know, watery depths. It's really nice. It's a beautiful aspect of, you know, your sun sign. So remember, also, I want to mention, your sun sign is what you are aspiring to in this lifetime. You don't come into your lifetime already like that. Do you know what that is? It's your moon sign. That is your standard operating system. That is how you arrive from the factory, is your moon sign, right? With no work, no effort. Your moon sign is who you inherently are. Your sun sign is who you're working to be in this lifetime. So keep that in mind, Pisces, when we're talking about all of this, okay? Let's get an article. Oh, look what's on the bottom. The chess queen, trust strategizing. I'm here for that. Okay. The fire prince, optimism, aggression. Really interesting. Optimism, aggression. You know, this is very much about like tending to the, you know, mind palace as it were, and really understanding that thoughts are things, and how you approach things is what you're going to get, right? But the aggression aspect of it with the Fire Prince, you know, fire is aggressive. It's transformative. We have it here with the King of Wands there, with the snake energy in your meditation. You know, there's an aspect of it that says, like, closed mouths never get fed. And the only way to get the biggest rewards is to take risks sometimes. And that's what the Fire Prince is all about. It's going after you want from a place of aggressive optimism, which is brilliant, right? Not always easy, but that's why I feel like the King of Wands is here to help and guide you and gift you with that confidence. I feel like that's beautiful. But look, they're just very focused on the goal and the aim, and they're willing to really, you know, work with the fiery element that is all about change and transformation. They don't fear the heat. And it's a confidence thing. I feel like you're being asked to really connect with your confidence, as that's going to serve you for what's coming up down the road. You're going to need confidence to move through and get to your wish fulfillment on the other side of this Eight of Cups, okay? Really brilliant, Pisces. Really, really nice. So with that being said, I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I so appreciate that. Also, I do have like a few slots left for my 2023 overview year ahead readings. The link to sign up for that is in the description box below. And with that being said, of course, just thank you. Thank you so, so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.